We'll start with a small prayer. Gently close your eyes. Relax and collapse your shoulders. Observe the normal pattern of the breath. Feel the inflow of air and exhale it out completely. Focusing on the tip of your nostrils, feel the filament of air touching the tip. Feel the volume of air gushing out of your body. Feel the coolness while you inhale. Feel the warmth while you exhale. Being a witness to all the operations, bodily, psychic, physiological. Be steady. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Sthita Tatgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidussura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Salutations to the witness principle within. Gently rub your both palms, generate heat, play it onto rise cheeks, front and back of your neck, and with a few blinks you shall open your eyes. In the previous class, we got the understanding of what is an inferior karma, what is an inferior action. Durenahi avaram karma. That is an inferior action done with all expectations, attachments to the outcome. Or simply put, okay, no problem. Or simply put, if you engage the actions with your mind, your indriyas, your sense organs, your intellect into it, or your ahamkara or your ego into it, it is considered to be an inferior action. And such inferior actions are done by petty fellows. Basically, lives lived by people who pity themselves and also put themselves in trouble. Hence, they are kripanaha, petty fellows, low lives. Now, what is a superior action? If it is inferior action that we know, when we engage our mind, body, intellect, ahankara into the action, what is an superior action? That is what we're going to see in the next shloka. The next shloka is again the most popular one. All among yoga enthusiasts, yoga teachers, considering this particular shloka to be the definition of yoga, definition given by Krishna to this concept called, to this state called yoga. It is very important. The second chapter, the entire second chapter from here on takes a beautiful turn, no? And he brings in all the vital concepts in this chapter. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Ubhe sukrita dushkrite. Ubhe sukrita dushkrite. Tasmad yogaya yujyasva. Tasmad yogaya yujyasva. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Again, very popular among yoga students, yoga teachers. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga is dexterity in action. That's how everybody translates this as. But we will ponder over this particular definition a bit. Well, I find it very incomplete. We'll first take the last phrase, the definition of yoga. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Dexterity in action is yoga. If an action done perfectly, can it be called the state of yoga? I do my actions perfectly. I do all my duties, carry out all my responsibilities perfectly. Before going to a shopping mall, I make my own and a good list, what all I have to gather. And then I don't go out, end up in weird shopping, shopping out of the list. I do it, everything perfect. Mostly people who are addicted to the actions or work oriented more are perfection oriented. Is this orientation towards perfection called yoga? Now here comes the question, a major question. And to these A-type personalities, the go-getters, the perfected, the so-called perfectionists, everything seems to be right what they do. So they say, yes, perfection is yoga. You have to do it like this way. This is how it has to be. Why? Otherwise, no, you will not be calm. You will not be quiet. You will not be peaceful. If things are done properly, then only there is peace. According to them, that's that. But I'll give you a secret here, secret disclosure here. If you are more towards perfection, you're more likely anxious. If you're more towards perfection, you're more likely exhaustive. If you're more towards perfection, you're more towards flustered state of mind. Why? To all those go-getters there, I ask a question. Can everything be perfect? No. Of all the actions that you do, you try to make out some perfection in it, but it can't be perfect. The world is beautiful. The forest is beautiful, dense, because it is chaotic. Because there are many things in it. There are no geometrical lines there. No? Coming back to perfection. Perfection in action. If perfection in action is called yoga, A terrorist tries to set up a bomb in the building. He is so accurate in mixing all the chemicals properly, in ticking up the time bomb. I don't know whether the time bomb is in place right now. I don't know, but yes, okay. As far as my knowledge considered, oh, he's so perfect, precise in doing things. Would you call that to be a work, a piece of art, or it's a state of yoga itself? Okay. I'll give you another example. There is a robo doing the job, okay? Doing all your job, your calculations, your household chores, your, jobs of decision making, where to trade, when to invest in a stock market, analyze everything with all this futuristic visions, so much intelligent, higher intelligent, what you call as artificial intelligence, Huh? If the work of a robo is considered as a piece of art or a state of yoga, will you agree? Hello? You don't. So this dexterity or perfection in action cannot be called as yoga. What is that Krishna wants us to understand? Adi Shankaracharya, the Bhashyakara, the commentator, gives beautiful explanation. He doesn't say dexterity in action is yoga. He says, when you anchor your mind in quietude, and from there you spring out your actions, those actions are dexterous. And such state from where dexterous actions spring out is called yoga. Now, I ask you a question. Take, for example, any action for that matter. Gardening, cooking, washing utensils, or speaking with people. Do you feel that you are quiet within and do your actions? Or you kind of agitated, get along with the action, get along with that course of action, and you just flow along with it? Naturally, we are so ordained to get emotionally connected, bodily connected to the action, to that piece of action. And then we do. Why so? For example, you have to do a particular activity. Okay. You're not yet done. You're still planning it out. Execution part is still there. There are so many other things that are running in your mind. This is how it is going to end up. This is how it is going to be, and everybody will be happy. It is going to be a happy situation. No? That's how we plan the activity. But when we plan that way, when we engage our mind into the actions, we have already faltered the action. We have already killed the action. The mind, which gives you a good setup in your head, it's also pulling you towards the attachments to the fruit. It is going to be happy situation for everyone. Win-win for everyone. No? Hence, Krishna says, no. Don't let mind do the action. Sit above your body. Sit above your mind. Sit above your intellect and ego. No? And then try acting. How do you do it? We come back to the same old methodology, what Krishna is saying. See, you feel like you are the doer. So you enjoy the doership. You plan, you strategize, you make things, you blow things up in your mind. The action is still not done. It's a beautiful universe. You have created a good bubble out there already. And then not much of energy is remaining for your real action. So you feel that I am the doer, the mind is engaged, you're exhausted with all those mental actions there. It is not just mental exhaustion, it is also physiological exhaustion, By the time you finish, you accomplish the work, you feel that you're not able to do it. Your body, your mind will not go along with it, will not accompany to accomplish the action. So Krishna here says, don't let mind do the action. He is a crazy fellow. He will pull you down. Engage yourself in actions with a witness attitude. How did we start the class? Starting to witness the breath. Yeah. It was fairly for a minute or so. All the thoughts that were outside, that you were, wandering outside, all the thoughts have been coned down, shunned down, and you're listening to me carefully. The concentration, the engagement of listening is properly done. How is this possible? It's only with that witness attitude. Krishna says, anchor yourself in that witness attitude. Establish yourself in that witnessing principle. And then do action. There is a story in Mandukya Upanishad. Dwa Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. There have been two birds perched on a tree. Very good accomplice. One is jittery. It's eating the fruits, it's enjoying, it's just, moving its head here and there, looking at places everywhere, enjoying the wind, rustling of the leaves. It jumps from one branch to another. But there is the another bird. Its own accomplice, does not eat anything, does not do anything. It's just looking at the other bird. Why is Upanishad telling this story? The story is done. The story is over. The analogy behind the story is, it is not the tree. The vriksha that Upanishad was mentioning is not the tree, but our body. The one which is jittery, the one which is random, which is involving in actions, enjoying things, looking, not looking, eating, sleeping, is what we are doing in this world. But the other bird is the subject, is the real nature of this Jivatman, this self. What does it do? It doesn't do anything. It just looks at it. It just witnesses. No, I'm going to elongate the story. The story is not in the books, in the Upanishads, but I'm going to elongate a bit so that you understand it more clearly. The bird who was doing all sorts of stuff gets tired, flustered, troubled, and ends up lonely. The other one who was witnessing, who was meditating, is the guru. He sorts of give all the instructions. No, this is how you don't do. No. This is how you have to be. Why so? Because he is more composed. He's more clear in his head. What made this bird clear, composed, and what made the other one flustered? The bird which involved in actions was not its mistake. Actions are not in your hands. We think actions are in our hands, right? That's our major problem. Actions are not never in our hands. Actions are already done, and you just being an instrument witness it. That's what Krishna says. That's what Krishna says. Arjuna, I've already killed the opponents. Look at me. He gives this unified divine vision, the cosmic form, the darshana to Arjuna, where he becomes the entire universe. All the beings are embedded in him. Arjuna couldn't really handle what he is seeing. Because if you see all beings in him, it is even Arjuna in him. So he says, oh Krishna, I cannot see you. There is no north, there is no south, there is no east, there is no west. What kind of multi-dimensional picture I'm viewing? Am I viewing? When the universe is run all by the divine, we are just that mobilizing factor, the instrument to do. There comes another question. Why do we, after all, do any action? It's better that we don't do. God will take care of everything. There are many other people like that. The entirely opposite characteristics of A-type personalities. We call them the B-type. They're more depressed. They're more lethargic. They're all pessimistic, negative. Why do you have to act? Why do you have to take responsibility? Why do you have to do? It's okay. No. Again, that is huge hell. Actions are not in your hands, but actions are the basic fiber of the universe. Do you live elsewhere? Are you stranded or floating elsewhere? No, you are in the universe. When it is the basic fiber, the basic net, the basic raw material of the universe, how can you get out of the actions? You ought to do actions. You ought to do actions. But let actions not impel you. Let it not dominate. Let you do not be enthralled by its accomplishment or feeling deceitful, disgusted, frustrated of its non-accomplishment. Simply put, let actions do not dominate you. How do you anchor yourself? How do you possess the other bird characteristic feature in you, to look at it, to observe it. Krishna had already given the methodology. I was coming to that. Give up enjoyership and doership. It is just a dream that you're having, that I need to enjoy. Oh, I suffer. It's all big, fanatic dream. It's not real. What is real? You are that other bird. That's real. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Krishna says, you try to grab hold on to that vyavasayatmika buddhi. Try to endow yourself in the state of buddhi, in the stability. What this buddhi, what this intellect can do, it is completely convinced that I am not the doer. It is supremely convinced that I am not the enjoyer. Buddhi yuktaha. Endow yourself with that vyavasayatmika buddhi in actions. Ubhe sukrita dushkrite. The yogis who are endowed in that intellect do not worry about what is good or what is bad in deeds. They do not worry. Oh, this person is not doing anything. He is going to sip hell. Oh, I am doing everything. I discharge all my responsibilities. I'm going to be in heaven. Don't be there. Don't go there. You know, in Indic culture, there is no heaven and hell. Atra eva narakaha swargaha ashnute, says Bhagavatam. It is only here there is heaven. It is only here there is hell. Like how I say, happiness is your choice. Happiness is your choice. So I was reading my own t-shirt saying, choose happy. Lately. I couldn't watch what was in the t-shirt. So I saw choose happy. It didn't say choose happiness. Happiness is abstract. Happy is verb. It's an action verb. It's always there. No? So it was interesting. Choose happy. Anyways, so coming back. Sukrita dushkrite, the problem with our mind, a problem with our ahankara, with our ego, is that we always want to filter all the good ones. You know, no, karma is good because it also gives an aspect of revenge to all those enemies. All those who were not good to us, you know, if they are suffering, oh, it's their karma. What happens to you? Oh, God has been very rude to me. I've been all good. Whom did I make people suffer? No, no one. I'm so innocent. I'm so nice. I'm so well behaved. So we have this huge spectacle, huge sunglass. Oh, this is good. This is bad. Sukrit, dushkrit. Virtue, sin. Krishna says, get away from this. This is not real. This is completely unreal. If you anchor yourself, if your intellect knows that this is your real self, you are just being an instrument in this action. then there is no good deed, bad deed. There is no good karma, bad karma. No. What do you have to do? You have to anchor yourself in the real self, in that witnessing principle. I remember Adi Shankaracharya, the commentator of Bhagavad Gita, also had many treatises in his account. One of his treatises, Bhaja Govindam, where he says, Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, Sangaratova, Sangahinaha, Yasya Brahmani Ramate, Chittam Nandati, Nandati, Nandatyeva. Sorry. Yogaratova, Bhogaratova. Even if a person is in the state of yoga, or he is a person enjoying all the pleasures, taking all the rides of life, even if he is amidst all the calamities, of the life, of all relationships, that grand tour of ups and downs, in the samsara, and even if he's abstained from all such relationships, if his mind is residing inside, inward, if it is totally perched on the tree, on the tree of self, like that bird, Chittam Nandati, Nandati, Nandatyeva, he says the mind always rejoices, verily rejoices. So what do you have to do? Just reverse what the mechanism of life has been. What were we doing? We try to rejoice with our mind. We try to rejoice with our praise, the ahankara. If someone praises us, if someone accomplishes us, we feel good. That is ahankara play. But what is real rejoicing? What is real joy? Adi Shankaracharya says, Yasya Brahmani Ramate, in whose mind always resides in Brahman, pure consciousness, in that witnessing principle, he is not worried about good or bad. He always rejoices. He is in state of joy. Buddhi yukto jahati hai ube sukrita dushkrite tasmat yogaya yujyasva. This is again an interesting one. Tasmat means therefore. Whenever Krishna says this word tasmat, therefore, he is trying to conclude his statements, He thinks in his mind that now Arjuna will, understand, would realize, and here comes the war, he's getting ready. But with his keen observations, Arjuna has plentiful questions in his head, and he can see that in his face. He continues to speak. Tasmat yogaya yujyasva. You fight for the sake of yoga, he says. You fight being in the state of yoga. It does not mean that you are in vrikshasana, in tree pose, and you're fighting. No. I just finished with that. The state of yoga is complete quietude. When your mind is staged up well, embedded in that silence, in that quietude. Tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karma sukaushalam. That will be called as a state of yoga if your actions, not entangled by your attachments, becomes dexterous. Yoga karma sukaushalam. Now comes the supreme question. It might be in the back of your head. How do I act without getting rajasic? Now you know what is sattva, rajas, tamas. Rajas is that action oriented, that passion, that energy, that drive force, actions themselves by nature are rajasic, my dear. My God. This should be a statutory warning. You should have told us before. Yeah. It is not impossible. It is not impossible, but it is just difficult. No? Why difficult? Because actions, the path of actions are a bit turbulent in nature. Why? Because actions by nature are rajasic, are driven by highly energetic force. Your mind, your passion. It's also said in one scripture that if you are a being in this universe, you will be bound by actions. You will be bound. Even if it is a right action, you will be bound. Even if it is a wrong action, you will be bound. No? In simplest words, if it is a right action, you will get good karma. If it is a wrong action, you get a bad karma. Now you'll understand. So actions by themselves are pretty, difficult in nature. Now what to do? Krishna in the later half talks about 3 different types of karma. Karma, akarma, and vikarma. Actions, bad actions, and the actions which don't seemingly take up any sense of action in its original nature. Lalitha, you're confusing. You're not speaking properly. I don't get anything from your words. So now that you know there is right action, there is wrong action. Okay, this is very clear. Now there is a third one, which is called akarma, non-action. What is non-action? When I don't do it is non-action? No, that is inaction. When you don't do, it is an inaction. What is called akarma? Non-action is akarma. When you do something without entrusting your selfish desires into the action. That's it. Krishna is majorly talking about this, is actually advertising, is strongly emphasizing all the jivas out there, all the beings in this universe to carry out akarma. Do not entrust your selfish desires. Do not entrust your mind or ahankara in it. Then all your rajas will be stopped. All the passion will be gone, will be washed away. And from the silence, from that quietude, actions will spring. I will give you a good example. We are all aware of it. We have been doing it for a number of times, just that we are not recognizing, and we do not incorporate the same in all of other activities that we do. What happens in the beginning of Shavasana? You're tired. You feel like, when is Lalitha going to make me lie down? When is my back going to get that rest? When are my legs going to relax? When are my hands going to relax? You're so all of those 55 minutes. What have you been doing? You're engaging your body, your mind, your ahankara. Am I doing the right Virabhadrasana? Oh, hers is not good. Oh, his is much better than mine. That is happening. action. Slowly, in the midway of Shavasana, somehow you trip over. You start to grow from this appearance called body to a state, although sentient, to a state where you don't feel your body. You don't feel bothered by the process of your mind. No more the thoughts are killing you. No more the thoughts are being heard or listened, or you can see any visuals. No? By the end of Shavasana, there is silence, absolute silence. If my music works better, it actually takes you to the deep quietude, and you're totally out of your bodily self. You're totally out of your mind self. You're totally out of your intellect. You don't know where you are. You don't know who you are. You are but a mass of silence. Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, pretty well. Now and then, yes. Oh, yes, quite a bit, a few fraction of seconds, yes. But yes. Now, this is the state of akarma. This quite small bits of fractions of microseconds of quietude is really called as yoga. And you try to delve deep with that, with the process of pranayama and meditation. You try to delve deep with that. All the different techniques of breathing and asanas are targeted to this particular state. The entire purpose of doing all those techniques and asanas is to accomplish, is to taste this taste, is to sip the state. Now, this is akarma. There is no indulgence of desire there. You don't think, okay, now I'll be getting rid of my diabetes. No. This doesn't happen. You have started yoga for managing your diabetes. But at that particular state, you don't feel any. Yeah. And then you don't interest, wow, what a great amount of peace. How I am enjoying this peace. No. You become the peace. You become there. You're verily there. Yeah. How did this happen? Let us go to the shloka again. Buddhi yukto jahati hai. Your mind, while started doing the practice, was supremely convinced that this 1 hour session is for me, is for my peace. You're supremely convinced that I'm not going to get distracted by the n number of elements in this universe from my sadhana. You're totally there. Ubhe sukrita dushkrite. Is it going to do anything good to me? I don't know. It might take 7-8 sessions to make myself ready for the practice of yoga. It might be another year to take care of my diabetes or blood pressure or my thyroid normal levels. You don't think there while you're doing. And slowly you trip over from the state of body. You start to sit above your body. Sit above your mind and intellect and start witnessing. No? And this state is perfect action. This state is called the dexterous action. Why? You know the art of cutting off your mind. Cutting off your involvement of ahankara, involvement of ego there. Now, what have to be done while you're cooking, while you're speaking with your colleague, while you're taking a counseling session, while someone is bothered and then you're talking, you do all those stuff from that state, staying in that state. How is this even possible? It is possible. All the poets do. All the artists paint. All the, what do you call, the so-called philosophical revelations are done from this state. Hence, they touches the hearts of millions, and hence they are so perfect. The words carry so much gravity. They are simple words. These simple words carry so much gravity because of the state, from the state where it has been revealed. The mind has to revel in joy to get revealed. Oh, that's a pun. Okay. That is dexterous action. That is real state of yoga. So what are we doing in asana and breathing techniques? We're just trying out to discard this bodily consciousness, this ego consciousness, this interventions of mind and intellect all the time. We are trying to slowly discard them, discard what is not real, and then firmly, the mind gets steadfast, firmly established in that quietude. Now, one another marker. I'll close my oration with this simple fact. One another marker that you are involved egoistically in any action is, while you are involved in the action, you will feel you'll be dragged out from that quietude. When you're dragged from that state of quietude, remember, you will end up as Kripana. You will end up as that petty fellow, doing all inferior actions, end up frustrated, flustered, troubled. All the miseries of the universe will dawn upon him. So that's your marker. Take up that biomarker in your head and always do actions that will not perturb your silence, that will not disturb your unruffled state of consciousness, of quietude, like that looking on bird. Thank you so much. Questions?